All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. And in this series, we are creating a tours and travel website from scratch. So far, we have created the navigation menu on top of the website and the footer at the bottom of the website. So we are continuing to build our website right from scratch. And today, we are going to build a contact form, right? So if you are building a tour and travel website, you need a place where a visitor will contact you in case they like your services, they love your Safari idea, so they contact you through a contact form. And in most cases, they call it the inquire page or plan a Safari or tailor-made, depending on your preference. So today we are going to be creating just that. And for now, we are going to start with a mobile view, right? We are going to start with the mobile view. So let us go to our VS Code. Let me put them side by side for the mobile view. So let us go to our VS Code, and in our folder, remember we have a folder for our files. We are going to create a file called contact.html, right? And then we do the boilerplate for HTML. So we are going to say contact T and T, right? This is our title. So we are going to do a little bit of copy and paste. We are going to copy all this, the header and the footer, and paste them in our new contact.html file. If you want just a bit of practice, you can redo the nav and the footer so that you master all this stuff, and the script as well. We are going to go ahead and open our contact.html. Open with live server. As you can see, our CSS is not working. So we are going to come here and link CSS. So we are going to link it as css-styles.css, and yes, our CSS is working perfectly fine. To create a place where users can send you information from their site, for example, they have to send you their name, their email address, maybe how many people are going to travel with them, and some other things. You can configure them depending on the information you want to collect. So now I'm going to create a very simple contact form. I'm keeping it simple for you, and we are going to use an HTML element called form, right? This is an element that represents a document section containing controls for submitting information. For our contact page, what we are going to do, we are going to have a hero section. And for this, I'm going to use an HTML element called section. This is an element that represents a standalone section of a document. I'm going to say section, and this, we are going to give it a class of hero, right? So come to our CSS and say .hero. So for the hero, we are going to give it a width of viewer width of 100 viewer width, a height of 70 viewer height. We are going to display it flex. We are going to align the items to the center and justify content to the center. All right. So now that we have that image there, we are going to say hero image. We are going to give it a width of 100% and a height of 100%. Let us remove the padding from here. Object fit is going to be cover. Perfectly fine. And object center, object position is going to be center. All right. So now we are going to put, some content, but I prefer putting an overlay, and this is a slight transparent black background so that the content on the header or on the hero section is visible. So for that, we are going to put a position of relative here, and then we are going to say hero dot overlay, and we say position will be absolute, and the top will be 0, left 0. The background, we are going to use an RGBA of 2.05. all right, so let us see if it is, and all right, and now it is not visible because we have to specify the width, and we say 100% and the height 100%. Now the overlay is visible, so let me reduce the contrast right there, and in here that's where we're going to put our content. I like wrapping it in containers and an H1 saying contact us. So we are going to put hero overlay container. So we defined, let us see, as you can see here, we defined the container with the width of 80%. So for this one, we are going to just say change the justify content to center. Align items center. So our content is not visible. We've got to see why. Now the reason the content is not visible, let us put a display flex here and align items to the center and justify content to the center as well. Now you can see our content is visible. So we can also give a height to the container and make it 80%. All right. So for now, we are going to duplicate this to the next line. So we are going to style our H1 and give it a font size of, let us see, 30 pixels, and give it a color of white. That's it for the hero section. And now we are going to do, if you don't know how to automatically put comments are just for you as a developer to help you, kind of understand which section you are working with and all that, so they are not visible to the browser. So if you don't know how I do them automatically, just press Ctrl Shift. So the shortcut for duplicating to the next line is Shift Alt downward arrow. We are going to put another section here, and we are going to give it a class of contact, right? And we are going to use a container, and in this container, normally with the contact, like I said, we want to collect information from the user to our side as the people managing or working with the website, you know. So but in most cases you put some other ways you can be contacted. Apart from the form, you can put your phone number, your email address, your WhatsApp number, or maybe your location, right? So what we are going to have is two areas. We are going to have the first box with alternative contact areas like the phone, the email and all that. So we are going to set box card, and the classes that I'm using, you can use your own. These are just off my head, so it's not a must that you will use these ones as well. So we are going to put, and we want to make sure these can be clicked, you know. So we are going to put them as an A tag, and an anchor tag needs an href, you know. And for the first one is the phone. In the href, we are going to say telephone and 2567040765547, and we are going to put the number as well, 07040765547, so that when you click, it opens the phone link and someone can call you directly from your website. And then the next thing we are going to do is the email, and this is mail to, and then you put the email you want to be contacted through. And we put it here as well. And the next one is WhatsApp. So for WhatsApp, you also put a WhatsApp link, which is https wa.me, and then your number. Let us put that number here as well. You can also put, you know, other things like your social media links, your, you know, whatever you want to put here. So let me put the last one, which is our location. We are going to say Kavari. And so let us style this. Contact form, contacts. We are going to give it a margin top of 40 pixels. Yeah, that gives it a little bit of space from the hero section. And we are going to give it a width of 100 viewer width. We are not going to give it a height, we are just going to display the contexts to the flex, align the items to the center, and justify the content to the center. All right, so we are going to style the container now. Contact.container. We already have the width, so we are going to give a flex wrap and justify the content to the center as well. So the reason we are giving it a flex wrap, we want to make it responsive, right? So on the mobile view, which we are doing first, it will be top and bottom, and then on the desktop view it will be left and right. So you will see what I'm talking about in a bit. Okay, so now we are going to style this box, and for flex wrap to work, we have to specify the maximum width of this container. So for box, we are going to say max width, and we shall give it a 500 pixel width. And for the max width to work, we have to give it a width as well of 100%. Right, so we are going to display flex wrap, align items to the center, justify content to the center. So I can choose to give it a box shadow of 0 2 pixels, 4 pixels, RGBA. All right, so now that looks good. Let me give it a padding of 20 pixels, somehow nice, and duplicate this down here and say box card. So for box card, we are going to give it a maximum width of 250, or maybe let me give it a 150. And here in the box, I'm going to give a gap of 10 pixels. All right, and this I will make 1. Okay, so far so good. Let us give it a padding. The padding is good as well, so I can choose to give it a fixed height of 100 pixels to make it a square. Looks good for me. I don't know about you. You can play with these things and get the outcome that you desire from them, right? And we are going to say font size 20 pixels. Okay, we are let us give it a 15 pixels, and the color, give it a black color, as you can see. So we can choose to, make it spicy and put a hover effect. So for that, we are going to say transition all 300 milliseconds is in out, and duplicate this. Then we say for the box card hover, and what I mean by hover is when the mouse is on top of that element. So we are going to see what I mean in a few minutes. We are going to give it a background color of that. So when the mouse is in, something spicy. All right, we can also choose to say border radius of 20 pixels, like so. Okay, now we go to the actual form. Yeah, so we are going to say form and then put the HTML5 element of form. Okay, so I'm going to give this form max width 600 pixels, and then the width will be 100%, and display flex line items to the center, justify content to the center. So like I said, I want to make it simple and precise. So for this form, we are going to collect the name of our client. So we are going to come here and put another div, call it names, put another div, call it name, and in here we are going to put a label, call it full name, and input of text with a placeholder of enter your full name. Alright, so let us duplicate this, and here we are going to ask for the email address, and for the email address we have to change the input to request for email, and then here we say enter your email address. All right, so okay, let us duplicate this entire div with names, and now we are looking for, phone number maybe, and the input is going to be telephone. So we are going to say enter your phone number. All right, so we are going to come down here and say country or nationality, and we are going to change the input to text and say enter your nationality. All right, so the next thing we need is the user has to send us some kind of a message. So we are going to put a div, call it message, and for this we use a text area, with the class of message area, and we are going to have a label and say your message. We are going to have a placeholder, enter your message, all right. So we are going to come back to our container right here and put a gap between the form and the box of 40 pixels, right? So now we are styling our form, and dot form We're going to give it a width of 100%. Then we are going to display flex right, flex direction column right, and okay, so let us leave it at that. Then we are going to get the names, give it a width 100%, display flex, flex wrap, and then we are going to say names, name width 100%. We are going to say max width of 300 pixels. Then we are going to put a gap right here, 20 pixels. We're going to say display flex direction column, then we style the label and say font size 15 pixels. And then input 15 pixels as well. So let us put a gap here for 10 pixels. I'm going to put a padding 10 pixels and 20 pixels. Let us put a border of 1 pixels, solid, RGB like that, and okay, so let me align items to the center here and justify content to the center, just like that. Okay, so let me put a gap of 10 pixels, just like so, and message now. So for message, say width of 100%, display flex direction column, line items center, justify content center, and then I style the label with a font size of 15 pixels. So let me put a gap here, 10 pixels. All right, so then I style the message area, give it a width 100%, border 1 pixel, solid, RGB, padding 20 pixels, no, 10 pixels, 20 pixels. We are going to set the resize to none and give it a custom height of 250. So we believe all the messages fit in there. Then we are going to give a font size 15 pixels, the color of black. So why is this like this? Let us remove the max width from there, and there we go. So the next thing we have to do is the button. I don't know where, yes, so we have the btn. So this is where the user will click and submit his or her information. So we are going to call it button with the submit attribute, with the submit type, and say send. So let us give it a class of btn, and there we go. So let us put the items on the center, just like so. All right, so let us give the button a class of cursor pointer. Duplicate this and say btn cursor is pointer. All right, so basically that is how the form is looking like today. But for now, let us style for the tablet, iPad. All right, so for this we are going to use media queries, and we are going to say at media screen and minimum width of 1024 pixels, right? So for that we are going to give the box max width of 300 pixels. And the form a max width of 400. We're going to come here and say contact container. We're going to give it a gap of 20 pixels. Is it working? No. Let us first make it unset. Yes, it is working. And we are going to align items to the start. Let us give it 10. And remove the gap. First make it unset. Let us see. No, it's not working. So we have to find out why. inspect element to find out what is going on. So let me see. Alright, so yes, I was supposed to use max width. $350. So I was supposed to use max width instead of minimum width. So let me put 320. 300. Still not working. Why is it not working? Let me see here. Container. Because of this. No. Okay, so here I'm supposed to say only screen. That's why the thing is not coming up. And minimum width, just like so. So that is 200, and then I'll put the gap of 10 pixels. Let me reduce that to, let me make this 500. Let me keep it 600. Now 500, and justify content space between. And that is it for our contact page. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. to see more videos coming up. Thank you. Bye bye.